We're ready. Ready, Freddie? Up and live. Here we go. Welcome to Monday morning. And you're on.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hey, I hope everybody's well.
I'm going to mute. Of course, we got a little bit of an echo going on, so
Yeah.
but all good. Now we're right.
Here we are.
Not a technical issue.
Here we go again after a little break while you had a case of the sniffles.
I did have a case of the sniffles, but I'm glad that I'm in the land of the living again.
No thick lines on the test today, I see.
No,
so
negative today.
Well done.
Woo-hoo. Happy about that. I tell you, I can get back to the world. Appreciate what everyone else has been going through. So good. I'm well and ready.
Right. Well, it's good to be back. It's good to be back and live and going out there to all the business owners.
Hey, Kathy, welcome to Clubhouse. I can see she's there. She'll be sitting there quietly listening. I know that's what she likes to do. So we're talking about marketing and the fatigue of marketing. I put a blog out that will be going out today to speak to this, and I wrote this because we're now in March. Good grief, well and truly in March. We're in the middle of March now, but we did lose last week. And what I have noticed is that there's a lot of fatigue, if that's the right word to use. Look, I know I just sit and reflect on all that I see hitting my phone and my emails, and you take a moment to go, I'll just have a quick look at what's happening at Navigate and Facebook and Instagram and those sort of places. And if you're not careful, we can go down a jolly great big rabbit hole because we are just flooded, absolutely flooded with white noise of social media. And I feel that there are a lot of our customers, a lot of our business owners out there that are suffering from fatigue of the volume of what's going out there, and therefore business owners may be finding it a little bit challenging on how they can stand out and be 1 inch above the crowd, and how they can capture their customers' attention. Right? It's a tough gig for a lot of people at the moment.
Well, that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yes, it's always
been the challenge. It's been the challenge from the beginning of time to get someone into your store physically, or to get some interest over a phone. And I mean, the challenge evolves, and we're in a very complex. We're in a very complex world now. Technology in the last 20 years, but particularly the last 5. Has made things, super challenging for those that aren't got their minds open and willing to learn and looking to change and looking at where the opportunity is and where that all sits behind. So, look, I get it. I get that there's fatigue on both ends. There's fatigue on looking at all the marketing coming through from a consumer perspective. And then there's fatigue for those small business owners that perhaps don't particularly enjoy the marketing aspect of their business. And the reality is that for any business to be able to get your customers' attention, you've got to do that primarily through a social media platform, or social media platforms, probably more to the point. So you cannot really succumb to the fatigue, or I don't want to, or I can't be bothered, or this new fandangled, this, that, whatever else.
Another platform.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, it's another platform, and yes, that's another opportunity for you to go out and find some new customers. So, look, I get the fatigue, absolutely.
Yeah. And I know you and I swapped some notes before we started this live, and you made a really good point, and one of them is that marketing is a marathon, right? This is not quick wins. This is not a sprint, and it's a constant activity. We're constantly doing it of split testing our marketing activities, and that's whether it's a post, whether it's an organic one where you're doing it for free, you're putting it out there, you're not paying for an ad, or you're paying for ads. And the split could be, is it guys or gals? Like it can be, everything's the same, but it's guys or gals. It's a split test. It doesn't really matter. But the split test actually helps you refine it. And so this piece of this thought process that many business owners have out there, I'm just going to whack an ad out and they'll all come running. Well, they might come running once. And if you're lucky and you nail it, well, great. How can you replicate that? What about that ad, that post, that activity has grabbed people's attention? And so, that could mean that you've got to speak to people, heaven forbid. You might have to speak to people to ask them why they bought, why they're engaged, what connected to them that they actually took that step to go and pull their card out and pay for that product, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, even going back a step, like as you say, hey, people have a big expectation around putting an ad out, but and maybe 20 years ago that could have worked, or certainly 10 years ago, and a Facebook ad may have worked, but now it is crowded, and you've got to think in terms of campaigns, you've got to think in terms of customer journey, which we speak about a lot in all our courses and programs. Understanding the customer, who they are, building the avatar around that, and the journey that you've got to go on with that customer. We talk about trust and building rapport and identifying need, and really spelling out how your business can service that need. You've got to go through that whole journey as part of your marketing, and yes, split testing is a huge part of that. Like which thing are certain demographics relating to. Or even segments within a demographic, the demographic within the demographic. Like we really chunk it down sometimes, between male, female, age groups, or certain ages within an wider age group. Locations is a big one. Exactly. Why are people, but just understanding the motivation for people to start to, find an affinity or draw a little closer to your product, or your brand. And, you've really got to work hard on, are you the brand behind your business, or is your brand big enough to stand on its own? And does it really mean something and resonate with people? Like I think back to, how often we go through this within our programs, and people have started their business and treating it like the typical storefront. Like, we've opened the doors, we've got the product, and they'll come in. And like the reality is in 2022, they're probably just not going to. You've really got to go out and connect and identify with those customers. And want to lead them on a journey, and then being enticed by what it is you're putting out there.
Yeah, indeed. And you make a really good point about identifying and knowing who your customers are, because how can you do any marketing unless you know who your customers are? So, we spend a lot of time, and as you say, in all the programs we talk about, is we get really clear who your customers are. And if you're a brand new business, well, this is where your split testing becomes important. Get out there and start talking to people. If you haven't even launched the business yet, or you're in the infancy stage, get out and talk to people and say, look, if I've got this product and it looks like this and it's priced like that and it has these widgets and these bells and whistles, whatever it is, or it's a dress that has this beautiful fabric, would you buy that? Would the price point be an issue for you? You got to start talking to customers. And the value that brings is you're gathering the data to help you really refine, what people are looking for, whether it's a dress, whether it's a coffee, whether it's finance, real estate, it doesn't really matter. Product or service doesn't matter. Really get to know your customers. And it's not something that is a set and forget. Goodness, we've had so many avatar iterations over the last 3 to 4 years. We are constantly revisiting, talking to our customers. Who are they? Because I know how many times I've shared that I've spoken to a customer. How did you get here? What was the thought process? And often it's been, oh, wow, well, we hadn't thought of it from that perspective. Here's a whole new avenue of people that we can find, because if there's one of you, there's bound to be more.
Yeah. And I mean, it comes back to as you said, it's a marathon effort. Like, this is a journey. Marketing, you've got to go along. It's like often for us and Navigate, and it's the same in many other businesses, is that it will take 12, 18, 24 months with people first of all seeing a post or an ad.
Yeah.
Maybe going through and looking at some kind of blog or information we put out there, to maybe attending a webinar or some kind of event that's free of charge, then to going back and picking up more of our content along the way and building value over a 12 or 18 month period to the point where, I think that Nick, that Joanne can actually fix and solve the problem for me in my business, or help me to identify what I need to do to fix and solve the problem in the business. We'll provide the tools, the wherewithal to be able to do that. But very rarely does that ever happen within a 1 or 2 times touch point. When we talk about sale, follow-up being such an important part of sales, and that the average sale happens between the 5th and the 12th follow-up across all businesses, then you've got to think of marketing in that light, that you've got to probably have the same thing, 5 to 12 touch points. Meaningful touch points, by the way, like meaningful ones where people are actually reading, absorbing the content, not just seeing or scrolling through a post, but something that's actually caught their eye and they've identified your brand, what problem that you've identified and that you've got some ability to be able to solve, and then even further behind that, the validation aspect of do I actually believe that these people can solve this problem? What references, third-party independent references, what other client testimonials, all of those things. So then I would say, well, do you put that in your content? And so not only is it a marathon, but you've got to carry on this journey for a long, long time. But as you go, you've got to increase the cadence. You've got to keep, once get to a level where you go, I've got this, this system, this rhythm that, we're doing 3 posts a week and we're doing this or whatever it is you might be doing, then once you've got to that point that you've set that and you've done that many times over, you've got to start increasing it. Increase the tempo.
Increase it and mix it up, right?
So if you're used to running a marathon, then you go, okay, well, first time I've done a marathon, I'm happy that I've just finished it. The next time is I want to do it under a certain time. The next time under a certain time again. And so with marketing, it's much the same thing. Is that what did we commit to? We committed to 500 lives this year. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
500 lives this year. So on the back of last year I think we did 100 or 200. And on the back of the year before we might have done 50.
50.
One a week maybe. Now we're 10 a week, in the space of probably a 24 months. Like, you've got to keep increasing the tempo. Now, this is relevant for us, but it's relevant for you too as a business owner and what you do each day. Do you talk about what's going on in your business? You've got to go through, your day, what's going on in your business in your day, and what's relevant, whether it be something to do with your customers, something to do with your suppliers, something to do with the general market, the trends. These are all things that you can talk about all the time.
Yeah, indeed. And mix it up, as we just said. Like, it's not just a paid ad and the odd post. I was talking to somebody the other day who's in a larger organization, and even that organization was struggling to get the consistency. And we were talking about, look, we write a blog. Navigate writes a blog once a week, but that blog can be sliced and diced and put into different formats. Once the blog is written, well, then that creates for our marketing team, the idea of the image, the idea of the reel, the idea of the post, and just slicing and dicing it. So, it might seem quite overwhelming to our listeners listening to this live or to the recording. And, oh man, how do I step up more? Well, you just get smarter with using the technology, right? Like we're doing a live now to 4 different platforms, all at the same time. So that helps us get our cadence and achieving our aim. But this morning I wrote the blog that then speaks to the live that we're doing today, and will speak to the posts and the ads that Grace will do throughout the week. So it's really being smart with your content. It's not hard to write a blog when you make a list. Like we speak about this often, make a list of 50 things that you're an expert in, things that you can talk with authority, because that's what you need to share with your customers, not just the paid ads to say, come buy this product. It's, well, let me share some information, show that I'm the expert, and, write your blog, and then get, if you're outsourcing it or if you've got it in-house, get the marketing team to use that content. And that then populates your other activities. It might seem a lot, but it's actually very simple, super simple.
When you know that you've got to do it, rather than, I should do it. When you know that you've actually got to do it, and let's face it, I don't care what business you're in, you've got to do. You do need to market your business, and you've got to do that. Then you've got to find a way. Because you're talking about the survival of your business. Because ultimately, the growth of your business is the survival of your business. Otherwise, you're just going to whittle away to nothing. So, hey, you can stop the rot. This is a critical part of your business, absolutely critical. So therefore, you've got to do it. So then you've got to find a way. So then you're not spending your time on finding your brain power on finding reasons and excuses not to do it. It's about finding enhancements and hacks and tips and tricks that you can get it done. And obviously, as you mentioned, technology is one, and another great one is having a buddy like we do. Left to our own devices, would we post as many times? Would we go live as many times? But by having someone else that can keep you honest through the process, can certainly help that. Find your rhythm, whether that be in while you're doing certain tasks in the day, or whether that be technology that you can use, or finding whatever those are. But you've got to be able to do it frequently, and then increase the frequency.
Indeed. So I feel that we've covered this really well today. So I guess a few key points here is, consider it. It's not one of these quick win things. It is a marathon. Be prepared to put the effort in. Develop the cadence and the consistency. Find ways, whether it's outsourcing, whether it's technology, it's a support network, the business community like the Navigate Biz community, to hold you accountable, to make sure that you do stick to the goals that you have. Because unless you're getting sales in the door, your business is not going to be around for too much longer. And that's the brutal truth of it, right? Sales is what fuels your business, and the marketing is the piece that gets the message out there. Keep it fresh, mix it up, get really smart with your content. And if you don't do anything else today other than make a list of 50 things that you are an expert in, and if you get 50 things, well, hey, you've now got a topic for every week to speak about.
Yeah, and one other tip that I think can help, and I know that we use a lot here, is that make sure that you've got a bunch of events through your calendar through the course of the year that you can speak to, so that whether that's every month, every quarter. I probably wouldn't go further out than that, but make sure that every 1, 2, or 3 months you've got something something to talk about. An event, a promotion. It's no secret now that in retail, almost every business is having a sale all the time, because they've got to have something fresh to talk about. They've got to have something, that is on the calendar that then they can market to and speak to. We've just gone through the lead up to our big sales tutorial we had. Now we've got a digital marketing one coming up there later this month. that, you know, all of our information, all of our marketing speaks to that theme. You know, then we have events and other things going on, promotions and that we can speak to. So always make sure that your business has something going on in the reasonably short term that you can speak to and promote to around your business.
Indeed. And so with that in mind, we've got the tutorial on the 24th of March at 1 p.m. and it's about customers and having them stay sticky. That's what we want, right? Where are they? How do they find them? And let's have them sticky and let them have them, make sure they're hanging around. And of course, as always, there's Biz Boot Camp that commences on the, oh God, I've just had a mental blank, 15th of April. I'm pretty sure it's that date, Friday the 15th of April.
So make sure that you go and check out www.navigatebiz.com. That's NAVIGATEBIZ.com, and go and check out the next Biz Boot Camp, and absolutely go and hunt out that free tutorial. If you got to this point of this live and you're still watching, you want to know more about marketing and particularly more about digital marketing, make sure you jump into that free tutorial where we'll go through a whole bunch of tips in depth around how you can go and implement these into your business and improve your marketing for your business and ultimately the profitability of your business.
Indeed. Well, it's good to be back.
It's about that. It is. It's good that you can talk again. That's great.
I know, right? Thank God. And we will talk to you all soon.
Happy Monday, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you later in the week.
See you soon. Ta-da.